Have you ever wondered how you can compare two words together, or sentences or files together? How you can compare them and check how closely they're all related? That's basically what we're going to talk about in this video. In this video, I'm going to explain to you everything you need to know on how to compare two words together. And that's basically what we're going to do in this video, making use of a library in Python programming language, a built-in library. But before I release the name of that library, make sure to hit the subscribe button. They're going to take money from your pocket. So in this video, the library we'll be looking at is difflib. Difflib, what exactly is a difflib? Like I said, is a built-in library in Python programming language. This library basically help you to check a sequence, to compare sequence of data together. It can be of a string, can be of a list, can be of a tuple, can be of any format, can be a whole PDF. Can compare two PDF, can compare two text, two words together to check how closely they are related. So what are the use cases of this library? Like I said, it used to check two words together to know how they are closely related. That's one of the use cases of this difflib library. Another one is that was to check for, it can also use it for spell checking. In a situation where you are making, maybe you have the correct spelling and then you have the wrong spelling, you can check these two spellings together to know how closely they are related and how wrong you have from your bad spelling. So also how you can use, like I stated in this earlier in the video, when it comes to file comparison, like maybe when you have a PDF file, for example, you can make use of this library and it can bring PDF 1 and PDF 2 and then try to check both of them, compare both of them together to know how they are, to know how closely related both of them are. Also, which you can use for web scraping. Don't worry, when you are going to make use of this library really well, when we start doing a web scraping, maybe when I'm doing project on arbitrage betting, we're going to make use of this library. So because when we get a player, when we get a team name or a particular bookmaker, get another one for a particular bookmaker, we need to actually compare them to check how closely related they are before we can try to merge them together and say, oh, these two guys are the same, they are the same things. We're going to make use of this when it comes to web scraping. Also, that is not only used when we come to arbitrage betting, it also is in a situation where you want to know how to check how your script content has been changing all over the time. So there's a whole lot of this use of this difflib. The use case is just too much. Like when we start using this difflib, we are going to enjoy it and it's going to be really fun. So we're going to make use of I'm going to talk about the important functions that we're going to make use of for important uses of difflib. There are a whole lot of them, but in this series I'm just going to look at a few of them, the important ones that are mainly used, which can talk about that of sequential matching, differ, comparison. I'm going to make use of this thing to do projects so we can understand how all these things work. In our future video, when we start doing web scraping, we're going to make use of this library pretty more. That's one of the reasons why I want us to look at it, this library. So when we start doing a web scraping project or using web scraping project, we're going to refer back to this library. So if you are still confused on what we did, once you refer back to the library, it will be easier for you to understand. So like I said, it's a built-in Python library, so you don't need to install it. It's already built in on Python. The advantages of this difflib library in Python programming language: number one, is easy to use. You don't need any strong background when it comes to the libraries to understand how this difflib work. Don't worry, as we go on in this video, you are going to see that this is easy, very easy to understand. We also have the efficient comparison, and like when we are doing comparison, using your basic web to compare things, because we are going to make use of the main way to compare two words together in Python programming language. You see that when you use difflib, is far better and more efficient compared to that way. We also have useful in many applications. Like I said, when we start doing arbitrage betting, we are going to make use of this. When we start doing value bet, we are going to make use of this library really well. We also come to that of machine learning scenario. I just want to make use of it to match our maybe our data point to check how closely they are related. I also have, when it comes to that of human readability, we also provide them easy to understand and for us to read and understand. So what are the disadvantages of this difflib? Because since the advantages come with it, there must also be disadvantage. Number one is when you are comparing heavy files together, because this is just a normal, this is not like a kind of a specific type of disadvantage to this difflib. It also comes with any other many other tools or libraries when it comes to any programming language. But like this difflib, when you are comparing too much, like a huge amount of files together, a huge amount of words centered, like when I compare PDF for almost 1,000 pages, comparing two PDF for more than close to 2,000 pages together, can see it can be a little bit of slow, just in a normal sense. Compare like 50 lines of text and then compare 1,000 lines of text can be I don't think both of them, you need to compare how they speed both of them and tend to operate on. What we're going to look at is not optimal for when it comes to binary files. No binary files are making some zeros and one and other kind of complex things that they are not based on characters. Can be a little bit challenging when it comes to that, because comparing zeros and one can be a little bit challenging. I also have what is looking at a limited customization when it comes to an operating system. It might not be easily flexible the way it's been. Like when it comes to that of Linux, it might not be as flexible as you think. So, but this here is what we looked about in this video. In this video, said I talked about what difflib. I will say that difflib is a built-in Python library, and what this library does is just to compare or check how closely related two sentences or two words, or I would say this what is a sequence, how closely both of them are related. I talked about the advantages and the use cases. We also talked about things how we're going to make use of it when in the near future, when we start doing some kind of stronger or bigger tasks. We're going to make use of this difflib. Also, we're going to talk about machine learning scenario is being used. We're going to make use of it. So, and when it comes to web scraping, we're basically going to make use of this. So, the importance of this difflib cannot be overemphasized. So, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I think this is where we're going to draw the curtain for this video. Next video, we're going to begin with the writing of the program, so we can tend to understand what we're all been talking about in this video. So I'll be happy to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.